Hey, welcome to the show, Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business. This is Coach James Short, aka Shorty, and this is a show for those within the real estate industry wanting to lead and grow their real estate business. It's a series of interviews that we conduct for those within the industry. So we're finding out what those leaders are within the industry, what makes them tick, what's their story, what are their strategies, and how to become the leaders and the growers within the industry. But also, it's an interview series with those outside of the industry. I'm always a big believer of looking at a whole different part of the pie rather than just focusing on one part of the pie. Because what it does, it allows you to have a different perspective, allows you to get snippets or golden nuggets from those outside of the industry that can look into the industry and go, there's a different perspective. And so I encourage you to reach out to the guests. I encourage you to lean into these series to find out how can these pieces of information, experiences, stories help you lead and grow your real estate business. Welcome back to another edition of Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business. And we are coming live here from Belle Property, Lennox Head, Byron Bay with the man himself, Braden Walters.
Hey, mate.
Hello, mate. Yeah, thank you for allowing us to come in and doing this in person.
It's great. The sun's out. Everyone's happy. It's been like 3 months of flat out rain, which sucks in real estate. Well, maybe not in other markets, but it sucks for us up here.
But it's such blue sky when it is blue sky, and it just makes the properties and the nature pop.
But most people moving to this area want lifestyle and the beach
and the surf.
And if it's grey and miserable, you can't sell the dream.
Totally. So you've been selling the dream now for how many years? You've been up here from Sydney?
This would be my 7th year.
Wow.
Coming up out of the big smoke.
Yep.
Lifestyle change, priority shift, it's been a roller coaster.
Yes.
I've had some highs, really good highs, and some really tough lows.
Yep.
But 7 years and I haven't looked back.
And what have you noticed over those 7 years? How has the market changed, and how has real estate changed up in regional New South Wales?
Well, when I first moved here, they didn't even do floor plans on their advertising, so we were one of the first to implement floor plans. Believe it or not, professional copywriting videos. The others are still trying to keep up with our videos and how we market, and obviously winning Australia's best property market in 2021.
That was huge.
Massive for a little office here in Byron Bay, but just doing things differently. But how has the market changed? I think to the detriment, we put it on the map with so much marketing and so much attention. COVID helped us a lot, being the furthest north airport during the border closures. So we got a lot of migration from the southern states to the area. And it's probably the biggest growth spot in New South Wales as far as new land releases and infrastructure and all of those things. And it's sort of a little piece of paradise, and everyone's found out about it now.
So talking about that land release, because you're marketing and selling what's called Lennox rights, which has been huge. But what has that growth factor been in relations to land releases up here? Because there is such a shortage. Tell me about that process.
It's been long. I don't know how developers do it. You need a big amount of money, I think, to be able to hold things. We've had Lennox Rise now. We've started selling the first stages around 500,000 to 550 for a decent block back in 2020. And since then, over the next 2 years, we sold about 80 or 90 of those blocks.
Wow.
And ended up selling at probably comparable blocks for around $1 million, 1.1. So the price has doubled over COVID, and people just securing via deposits. Bless the developers. They've got a lot of patience dealing with a less than efficient local government, and not pointing fingers, but it is frustrating. 70% of our buyers are locals, so people wanting to build their house, they're renting, people just trying to get into the market. But yeah, it's been a huge increase in pricing, and the reason is because it takes so long for them to deliver it. The developers have to pass on the holding costs, and if there's nothing available, then everyone's fighting over what's left.
Interesting.
And you feel a little bit guilty as a salesperson because our role and our job is for our client, the developer. And if there's a huge demand, then yes, of course, keep inching the prices up. But you do feel a little bit guilty because it is getting expensive. But it's, I guess, I'm a local family and I can benefit from that too.
Totally. Hey guys, just a little side note here. How's it going? Are you on track this year? I know that sometimes this part of the year we can feel like we're in a bit of a grind, a bit of in the trenches. Are you on track from the original plans that you set out for the rest of this year? What I've realized is that with this time of year, we get so distracted and we've got trying to chase so many shiny balls and go down so many rabbit holes. And that's why I created a program called the 90. It's a framework that actually allows you to achieve more in 90 days than ever before. Some of the feedback that we've got from some of the people that have used the process, the 90, is that they've achieved more in 90 days than the whole previous year. So if you'd like to have the tools, have the techniques, have the framework on the 90, so you and your team can achieve more in 90 days than ever before. What it does, it impacts you of how to get clear, what you need to do, and who you need to be to show up in order to achieve the things you want to achieve over the next 90 days. Simply head over to jamesshort.com.au, click on join the waitlist, fill in your details, and one of the team members will be in touch and take you through the 90 framework. On with the show. And so where do you see the market going up here in Lennox Byron over, I guess, the next couple of years? I mean, we don't have a crystal ball, but based on your intel, your info, and what you see, where do you see it moving towards, do you think?
We still have a housing shortage. So for us, nothing has changed since COVID. There's been actually no supply of anything. So essentially the demand has just slowed a little bit because obviously people have settled back to the cities. So I still feel like there's going to be a lot of supply coming into the market. I feel like our little sleepy surfing village here will still see reasonable gains. I think of just something a bit more modest, like a 3 to 5% year on year, just because people move here for the right reasons and it is beautiful real estate. I think that the market itself we've dropped 20% since COVID. So we've seen a huge correction and we're still clawing our way back to where the peak was. For those looking at investing into this market, there's easily another 10% within the next year and a half. And hopefully some interest rate relief will also keep that along. But definitely a positive market now because, there's been a bit of a...
Yeah, totally. And you've been in the game for a couple of decades now. What have you seen as an agent, some of the biggest changes that have helped you but also impacted you as an agent?
The biggest change and struggle we're dealing with is the amount of paperwork. And being on the board of the Real Estate Institute and the head of the Resi Sales and now the Regional Advisory Committee and all these things I love doing, it's a consistent pattern that every agency is struggling with the sheer amount of compliance and paperwork. We spend probably 60% of our day making sure that all our paperwork is in order, rather than making phone calls, doing appointments, getting outside and meeting people, and doing our actual job. So the compliance side of things has gotten way out of control. And it's good because it makes us a hopefully more transparent, more trusted profession. But what I have found is the biggest change has been just the sheer amount of compliance required now. Everything as far as our day-to-day practice with real estate, the information is readily available now. So all the stats research that we used to hide protect as real estate agents is now readily available for vendors, buyers, everyone, mortgage brokers. buyers come to us with an automated CMA that their broker gave them and said it's only worth X amount because that's what
they go about it.
That's what this automated thing. And so the biggest thing is probably dealing with so much overload of that.
Yep.
And I feel like we're separating ourselves from that face to face. If you're not a real estate agent that can deal with someone face to face and hone your skills from negotiating and hone your skills of asking the right questions, texting people and emailing, it's fine, but I think there will be a big backlash to people that are actually very good at that face to face.
Very true. Yeah, very true. And what's coming up for you? What exciting projects that you and the team are working on over these next, say, 12 to 24 months?
Yeah, I'm a hunter, so I'm always looking at the next 5 to 10 years and finding the next big Lennox rise.
Yep.
So we've got more land estates that we're working with very closely.
Right.
I do things like hunt down development sites for developers, and I'm sure a lot of your guys watching this do too.
Yep.
So we have a couple of big ones that are in the pipeline now for the next 5 to 10 years.
Correct.
But the commitment I made to Lennox Rise, and that's another 5 years. So we've still got another 100 lots through there to sell. So that will continue to keep us busy. Big picture is really, growing the team, growing the right culture, enjoying what we do. It's been a tough couple of years since that adjustment or during that adjustment. So, really just trying to find the fun again. Partnering up with a couple of agents that are in the pipeline that are coming now. So, I think it's going to be an exciting next little while.
Fantastic. Awesome. So on the show, we have our 60-second quiz to find out a little bit more about our guests.
Yep.
You willing to play? It's a yes or a yes.
If you just Google me, you can find out everything about me, right?
All right, cool. Favourite movie?
Favourite movie? Oh, man. At the moment, Only the Brave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Favourite food?
Favourite food, I must say, would have to be like a charcoal chicken and chips from Frango in Petersham.
Still going.
But I need to get to
The Marines.
Yeah.
Favourite holiday destination?
Thailand.
Nice. What's your morning routine?
Getting kicked in the head by my lovely 3-year-old and getting her up and having some cuddle time before I sort of get ready for work.
Nice. What's your evening routine?
Evening routine at the moment is working on my race car until sort of late hours of the night to get me away from work and get me dirty and well under the fingertips and stuff. But that's a really good passion of mine. Yeah, night time, that's it.
Fantastic. Do you have a most embarrassing moment?
Embarrassing moments, like every day. Probably, letting down clients or not delivering on something I said I would is probably embarrassing enough.
Yeah, cool. If you could choose 5 inspirational people to have dinner with, they could be dead or alive, who would they be?
Easily my grandfather, my dad's dad. Michael Hutchins from In Excess. That's such a deep question. Shorty, I think anyone. I talk to anybody. It'd be good to have something for an interesting dinner. That's all. But I couldn't think of 5.
That's totally fine. And if you were Prime Minister for the day, what's one thing that you would change?
It's a tough thing at the moment, and isn't it just on the topic of discussion?
Totally.
What would I change? There's probably like a list of 100 things. Probably, whether I would change something or just make them, have to follow through on what's been promised during elections and that sort of thing. What would have changed? Oh man, how long do we have? That they must remain in term, that they can't take the pensions that they're taking. It just seemed like it's a bit of a joke, the taxpayers' money that continues to pay them every single year after their 3-year stint.
Cool. Now, before we wrap up, I want to go back to that most marketable place that you did have a number of years ago. Tell us a bit about that and the process that you went through, and why do you think it won that award?
So 8 Burrawang Place in Bangalore is the one we've sold it 3 times over.
Wow.
The owners did a great renovation on it, and she was a florist, and they had wedding planning business and things. So I think the right combination of a beautiful brand, lifestyle brand, as we go with Belle, but also a vendor that also sees that ability to market a property to that next level. And I think that's probably the biggest thing is if you can get emotional about a property and you know that you can sell that emotion to a buyer. And I think like convincing the owners to also buy into that story that you want to pitch.
Yep.
So here's what I see. Like I'm going to another one today just after this that has a very masculine sort of jail-like facade, if you call it that, and the owner's saying, doesn't have the best street appeal, but how do you pitch it in a different way? So it could be uber also private, exclusive, so anyway, I was using that.
Those strengths.
Yeah, finding the things that really people are going to appeal to.
Yep.
And that's where I think I can do that well with properties is if it's under the flight path, it's only 13 hours to LA. You could take every bit around it and try and turn it. But that one in Burrawang was absolutely stunning the way that they renovated it. I can't take credit for that.
Yeah.
It was just that I think we gave it a personality. Yeah. And it just mattered, like it just strikes it like lightning bolt.
What were some of the stats and numbers around that?
We hit 210,000 views in a week. Yeah. Phenomenal. And it was just, it broke realestate.com.
Yeah.
So, and that was exciting. But I mean, looking back at it now, being 4 years ago, there were 170 inquiries a day. So it was, phenomenal the amount. And, at that point we had to, you're looking at things like Pleasure and all these different things, automated responses, just because we couldn't get in touch with people that fast. But yeah, I mean, and that's again the highs and the lows. Then we also have properties that you might get one inquiry a month. So how you take the good stuff and then you also understand that this too shall pass. The good times and the bad times all pass, but that was fun, a lot of fun.
Yeah, cool. And so how can the audience reach out, follow your journey and get in contact with you?
Yeah, I'm probably, I'm known as being very generous, so I'm happy to help anyone. Reach out, email me at Belle Property, Facebook, Instagram. Yeah, you can find me just about everywhere. Or just drive around and see your local bus stops. Definitely happy to help Shorty and anything that anyone has. New guys, people starting into a new market. Obviously, I'm 23 years in real estate now, so only 7 here. Being able to rebirth yourself in a new market is tough for some people. I'm happy to help people that are looking at doing that. Always looking for good salespeople too. It's a great market to work in.
Fantastic. Braden Walters, Belle Property Byron Bay, Lennox Head.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, buddy.
Cool.